You are finally getting close to something you said you wanted. The project is almost finished. The opportunity is right there. People are starting to notice your potential, and suddenly, you slow down. You start obsessing over tiny details that never mattered before. You procrastinate for no clear reason. You distract yourself for hours, tell yourself you need a break, or convince yourself the work still is not good enough. From the outside, it looks irrational. But deep down, you know exactly what you were doing. You wanted this success for months, maybe years. So why do you feel the urge to disappear the moment it becomes real? Because your brain is no longer treating success like a reward. It is treating it like a threat. Most people think self-sabotage comes from laziness or lack of discipline. That is usually not true. A lot of self-sabotage is protection. The closer you get to a breakthrough, the more your mind starts calculating everything that comes after it. Higher expectations, more visibility, the pressure to maintain results, the possibility of failing publicly. After finally being seen as capable, and for some people, that pressure feels heavier than just staying stuck, so your brain creates distance. Not always through something obvious. Sometimes you procrastinate, sometimes you go quiet, sometimes you spend 3 weeks planning something you could have started in a day. Think about the last time you had something almost ready. Maybe it was a project, a post, an application, and instead of finishing it, you opened it, stared at it, changed something small, closed it, and told yourself you would come back tomorrow. That was not laziness. That was your brain protecting you from the moment people actually see it. Because finishing means allowing yourself to be judged. Perfectionism sounds like ambition. Most of the time it isn't, it's fear. With better vocabulary. Planning feels safe, research feels safe, preparing feels safe. But if you never fully commit, you never fully fail. And strangely, that can feel emotionally safer than trying your hardest and discovering you still were not enough. This is why intelligent people sometimes stay trapped for years, not because they lack potential, but because they became addicted to protecting it. Untested potential is comforting, reality is not. And the problem is that this protection slowly starts destroying your life. You get tired, not from working, but from holding yourself back. You watch people with less talent move forward simply because they are willing to be seen trying. You stay stuck preparing for a future you never fully enter. And after a while, the avoidance becomes part of your identity. You start calling it independence, high standards, being careful, waiting for the right time. But underneath all of it is fear. Not just fear of failure, fear of change. Because real success changes your relationships, your routines, the way people see you. Sometimes, even the role you play in your family or your social circle. And that creates a deeper conflict most people never talk about. What if succeeding means becoming someone your old life no longer recognizes? What if staying stuck is not only protecting you from failure, but also protecting your sense of belonging? A lot of people never admit this to themselves, but staying stuck can feel strangely loyal. If you become too different, too successful, too confident, you risk outgrowing the version of you that your relationships were built around. Sometimes, success creates distance from people who only understood you when you were struggling beside them. And for the brain, losing familiarity can feel just as threatening as failure itself. That is why self-sabotage feels so confusing. Part of you wants the success. Another part of you sees that success as a direct threat to everything that feels familiar and safe. So what actually breaks the cycle? Not motivation. Motivation comes and goes. What breaks it is a small decision you make repeatedly, to let yourself be seen before you feel ready. To submit the thing that is not perfect, to take the step while the fear is still there. Most people are waiting for the fear to disappear before they move. It does not disappear. You just get better at moving with it. That is the part most people avoid, not the work, the exposure that comes with it. If this video explains something you have never been able to put into words, subscribe. There are deeper layers to these behaviors, and we are going to keep unpacking them here.